Nobody ever said that having a pet was going to be easy. Sure, on the surface it might seem like you're getting a cuddly new friend who will always be happy to see you, but there's a lot more to taking care of an animal than that. In fact, when it comes to their health, pets can often present some serious challenges. Whether it's dealing with allergies, keeping them active and healthy, or even just knowing when they're sick, being a pet owner can sometimes feel like a full-time job. But in the end, it's worth it. They are part of the family. What is cat asthma? If you've ever seen your cat struggling to breathe, then you know that it is a very frightening thing. It can be even more terrifying if they struggle to breathe and yet appear pain-free. That's why feline asthma, also known as feline dyspnea, needs immediate veterinary attention, particularly if the cat exhibits any kind of wheezing. Cat asthma is a respiratory condition where the cat's lungs are blocked by an inflamed airway. It is triggered by several different things, but often it is due to an allergy or sensitivities to something they have inhaled. Cleaning chemicals, cigarette smoke, perfumes, and other scented products are just some of the many items that can trigger asthma. Cat asthma is more than just a respiratory condition. It can also cause several other problems within the body, including congestion, coughing, and even cyanosis. While some of these symptoms might sound like colds or allergies in people, cats can experience them differently. What causes asthma in cats? Cats can develop asthma when certain irritants trigger an allergic reaction that causes their airways to swell. When the tissue in the walls of the cat's bronchial tubes becomes inflamed, it's much harder for them to move air through their system, which makes it difficult for them to breathe. Here are the common causes. Asthma triggers in the home. While some cats are more likely than others to develop asthma, even if you don't think your home contains anything that might set off an allergic reaction within your cat, there could still be some things hidden around that might cause problems. For example, dust mites and mold can trigger feline allergies just as easily as anything else. Seasonal allergies. Most cat allergies are triggered by the same kinds of things that affect people, such as pollen and mold. However, you may notice that your cat has asthma symptoms more often during certain times of the year than others. This is because it's also common for pet allergies to be seasonal, usually caused by something that's growing during a certain time of year. Other pets in the home. If you have other pets, it's possible that they could be triggering your cat's asthma symptoms. For example, if you have a dog and a cat who live together, it can be more difficult for your cat to avoid allergens from its canine counterpart. This is especially true if the dog spends most of its time indoors, while the cat only goes outside on occasion. Obesity. While your cat is more than welcome to indulge in whatever you're eating when they're around, if they become overweight it can cause problems with their throat and airwaves that may contribute to asthma symptoms. This is because fat can build up within the chest cavity, which can restrict a cat's ability to breathe. How to tell if your cat has asthma? The common symptoms. If your cat is experiencing any of the symptoms on the following, it's important to take them to a veterinarian immediately for a checkup. If you suspect that your pet has asthma, but they're not exhibiting any symptoms now, don't wait for their next episode to come around. But as a precaution, here are the following symptoms to look out for. Wheezing or breathing problems. Cats who have asthma may experience wheezing when they exhale. In some cases, you might also hear a kind of whistling noise in your cat's ribs when they breathe. These symptoms usually only affect the exhalation process because cats naturally have much smaller airways than people do, which means that they have less space for air to flow through. When the airways are restricted, it can cause wheezing. Unusual vocalization. Cats that exhibit unusual vocalizations like meowing and crying may be trying to communicate an issue with their respiratory system. Since cats cannot talk, making noises is one way that they communicate their pain, discomfort, or distress. Congestion and sneezing. When a cat has an upper respiratory infection, it may display symptoms of congestion and sneezing. When the tissue in the walls of the cat's airways becomes irritated from an allergic reaction or infection, it can make it more difficult for them to breathe. Therefore, your cat may sneeze, cough, or produce a lot of mucus when they have asthma. Hello. This video is sponsored by BMX Pets. Are you looking for high-quality cat collars at an affordable cost? Check out bmxpets.com. Use coupon code KittenLife to get 20% off. Lethargy and increased sleep. Low energy levels can be an indicator that something isn't quite right with your cat's respiratory system. If you notice that your pet has decreased their activity level significantly, it may be a sign that they're feeling tired and weak because they can't breathe as well as they should. Also, if your cat has been sleeping more than normal, especially during the day or when you're trying to play with them, it may be an indication that their asthma is acting up again. Loss of appetite. Anorexia, or loss of appetite, can be an indicator that there's something wrong with your cat's respiratory system. If your pet is not eating as much as they usually do, it may be because eating makes them struggle to breathe properly. Weight loss. Cats that are suffering from asthma often lose weight because their condition prevents them from eating as much or exercising as much. When your cat's respiratory system isn't working properly, it may cause them to become malnourished and lose weight despite their best efforts to eat well. Bluish coloration of the oral mucosa. When your cat is having difficulty breathing due to asthma symptoms, it may exhibit a bluish coloration of the oral mucosa. This happens when their respiratory rate is elevated and they're trying to draw more oxygen into their lungs, but because of their condition, they can't get enough air in. Retractions. When a cat has difficulty breathing, you may notice that its chest area is making unusual movements. Retractions occur when the muscles surrounding the ribs contract and pull them inward to make room for the lungs. This movement makes it possible for cats to breathe, but if your pet is experiencing coughing fits, it may be a sign that they're suffering from asthma. Inactivity. Cats with feline asthma often display decreased activity levels because even the slightest of movements can make breathing difficult for them. If your cat is no longer as active as usual or if they're sleeping more than usual, it's as trying to compensate for obstruction or blockage in their airway. Rolled up tongue. When your cat is having difficulty breathing because of asthma, it may have a rolled up tongue. This happens when the muscles in their tongue are contracted to make it shorter so that they can take bigger breaths easier by pulling the tongue back to open the mouth, which makes it possible for more air to enter the respiratory system. Upper airway resistance syndrome. Some cats who suffer from asthma may exhibit signs of upper airway resistance syndrome, UARS. With this condition, their airways narrow when they inhale, which means that it takes more effort for them to breathe. This can lead to many of the same symptoms displayed by cats with asthma, such as the ones mentioned earlier, discharge from nostrils. Another indication that your cat may be suffering from feline asthma is if they're experiencing discharge from their nostrils. Their respiratory system can cause mucus and fluids to build up and drip out of your pet's nose because their airways are irritated and inflamed. Difficulty swallowing. Coughing or sneezing can cause a cat to have difficulty swallowing because it basically forces the food in its throat backward, which makes it more difficult for them to eat. When cats suffer from allergies, they may also display this symptom because of an irritated respiratory system. Snorting. Snorting is another indication that your cat is having breathing problems. Snorting occurs when air enters the nose and causes your pet to snort, which happens because their nasal passages are restricted due to asthma symptoms. If you enjoyed this video, kindly press the like button. Also, don't forget to subscribe with notifications on, so that you don't miss out on videos like this. Thank you for watching.